Thank you, Sri D. Rajya.
Thank you, sir. The purpose of this piece of legislation is to amend the original act, the Payment of Wages Act, 1936. 1936. Sir, the 1936, the original act, Section 6, talks about wages to be paid in current coin or currency notes. There it says all wages shall be paid in current coin or currency notes or in both. This is the original act, 1936. This act was amended in 1976 and it was inserted one clause, provided that the employer may, after obtaining the written authorization of the employed person, pay him the wages either by check or by crediting the wages in his bank account. This is 1936 Act, which was amended in 1976. Now we are trying to amend this Act further. Now it says the present amendment, all wages be paid in current coin or currency notes or by check or by crediting the wages in the bank account of the employee, and provided that the appropriate government may, by notification in the official gazette, specify the industrial or other establishment, the employer of which shall pay to every person employed in such industrial or other establishment the wages only by check or crediting the wages in his bank account. Sir, while we discussing this amendment, we should keep in mind certain other factors. Minister must clarify the position, whether it is applicable to only organized sector or it is applicable to informal sector, unorganized sector. Minister should make it clear. If it is applicable to unorganized sector, then what is the preparedness? What is the preparedness? Are we in a position to implement this amendment? Parliament can pass, but Parliament should be realistic whether it can be implemented at this given point of time or in the coming period. Why I am saying, now the banking sector is in crisis. Banking sector. What is the condition of rural banks? You please tell us, sir, what is the condition of rural banks? Whether rural banks are effective, having network across the country, in rural part of our country. Please tell us. You please try to convince us, convince the Parliament, because you have taken the route of ordinance. Maybe Constitution allows, but at the same time, we have a very vibrant Parliament. Parliament is supreme. You must take Parliament into confidence. Maybe you are in power today, tomorrow somebody else will be in power. But Parliament should be taken into confidence. Parliament represents the collective will of the people. So I am asking, when you propose this amendment, do you think it can be implemented now? Then why are you proposing this amendment? Because condition of the rural banks, they are in crisis and the employees are agitating all the time. They cannot function effectively. And cooperative banks, they are in crisis. They don't have adequate capital. And the entire banking sector, there is no recruitment, adequate recruitment. What is the rate of recruitment in the banks? Recruitment of employees, I am telling. Without bank branches across the country, without adequate number of bank employees, how you can impose this, how you can implement this. This is one thing, sir. The other thing, if it is applicable to unorganized sector, there are problems. There are problems. One is the agricultural workers. There is a demand. It is a old demand. I repeat, that is, the agricultural workers want a central legislation so that they get identity, they get all social security benefits, everything. But we don't have a central legislation for agricultural workers. How long we can continue like this? Having no legislation to cover a substantial working population of our country. Agricultural workers, look at the living conditions of agricultural workers in this country. I'm not bringing other social factors. I'm bringing the economic factors. What is their wage? What is their pension? Whether they have homes, houses to live in, and what is the social security they have got? So why can't you think of bringing a central legislation for agricultural workers? Now I am raising another issue, sir. Migrant laborers, sir. Migrant laborers. And they move from one state to another. And my colleagues were mentioning my colleague from Uttar Pradesh. He was referring to Uttar Pradesh workers migrating to other states. But I keep seeing workers from different parts, from Orissa, from Bengal, from Bihar. They are all working in Tamil Nadu, Kerala, and several parts of the country. And these migrant workers, do they have adequate protection? The unorganized workers, sir, they don't have identity cards, sir. They don't have identity card. That itself is a problem. They shift from one job to other job according to the availability of job. They move from one profession to other according to availability of that employment. They are migrant laborers, sir. Even they are not able to exercise their right to vote because they don't have that proper migrant worker card, identity card. And the Labor Ministry must have come across this problem. And I keep meeting several social organizations, civil societies. They all raise this issue. What is the identity card? Construction workers. Now after big struggle, in some states, construction workers get that identity card as construction worker. And what about the other sector, BD workers or head load workers? There are problems. Some unions give. I know when we organize them, when we organize the unorganized workers, we give identity card. She or he belongs to this union. But as a government, how do you address their problem, this identity problem? It's a big problem. And without that, how can they have access to banking system? You may say bringing people into banking system is a lofty goal. Yes, people should have that banking, they should come into banking system. But how can they come into banking system? That's what I'm trying to ask. On one side, you don't have bank branches. There is no bank infrastructure spread over the country. On the other hand, the workers are not recognized as workers and given their identity cards. Sir, scheme workers, they are scheme workers. What is this scheme workers? They are not treated as regular workers. They are just scheme workers. People are asking, let these scheme workers be treated as regular workers. What is the hurdle? I am asking the Labour Minister. What is the hurdle? What is the difficulty in treating them as regular workers? I am asking, sir. They are workers. They are scheme workers because they are in particular scheme implementations. They are all government schemes. After all, they are all government workers. Why can't you treat them as workers? Midday meal workers, Anganwadi workers, you don't treat them as regular workers. And these are all problems, sir. Now I'm taking up some, please, one or two other issues. This, you are talking about minimum wages. Do you review the implementation of Minimum Wages Act in different states at national level? What is the condition, sir? Otherwise, why trade unions should raise the demand? 18,000 rupees, Comrade Rangarajan, 18,000 rupees as minimum wage. And on one side, inflation, price rise, the other economic factors which affect the living conditions of the workers, They ask minimum wage 18,000. And the government is not considering, government is not taking up this issue in labor conferences or talking to trade unions, managements. Why can't we accept this demand, 18,000 as minimum wage for workers? In the same way, sir, pension, there is a demand. We should move for universal pension scheme. We talk about several schemes, but we don't discuss universal pension scheme. After all, our citizens, sir, Arjun Sen Gupta committee report, you must be aware of that report, sir, because it was the first effort to address the concerns of unorganized workers. And that committee said there should be universal social security coverage for all those in informal sector, unorganized sector. What is the effort the government has taken to consider? Why not? After all, they are all our citizens. Why do you want our economy to grow? I am asking, sir, a simple question. Why do you want our economy to grow? Why do you want cashless economy, digital economy? For fun? What is that? Why do you want economy to grow? After all, to meet the needs of our people, to uplift the living conditions of our people,
Now please conclude.
to help our people. That is what we are trying, sir. But what government is doing? What government is doing? What is the purpose of this amendment? Pay it in cash or coin or bank check or credit in the bank. Where is the money? My simple question, where is the money in the hands of workers in unorganized sector? You give them money. I'm not saying you just are out of charity or pity you give money. They are working. Ensure their minimum wage. Ensure their minimum wage. And let the workers have money in their hands. Money in their hands. Let the workers have purchasing capacity. Let the workers then ask them, you transact through bank. I can understand. There is rationality. And now without money in their hands, you ask them go to banks. It is irrational according to me. That is where I am questioning the very timing of this amendment and how can you implement this amendment?
All right.
Unless you take into consideration all these factors, sir. So I appeal to the government, I appeal to the labor minister to have a comprehensive approach. This ad hoc approach will not help the government or the economy. There should be a comprehensive approach. This is what I thought I should point out at this point of time, sir. There are other issues concerning workers.
Some other day.
Because,
Some other day.
Yes, some other day, because we should discuss the working conditions, the living conditions of Indian working class, sir, the working people of this country. And perhaps, if not now, some other time we should discuss what is the
Thank you.
condition of our working people in this country. Thank you, sir.
Thank you so much. Sri Bas